Hello and welcome back. Now we are going to talk about forks and double attacks. A double attack or a fork is an attack against two or more enemy targets at the same time. It may be a simultaneous attack on two different enemy pieces, or it may be a threat of a checkmate combined with an attack on an enemy piece. The importance of a double attack or a fork depends on the value of the attacked piece. The effect of a double attack increases if the attacked pieces are more valuable. Let's get into some examples. Okay, here's the first example. In this position, you can see that the rook on a8 and the king on g8 can be attacked simultaneously using white's queen g5, attacking the king and the rook simultaneously. Black has no other option. He has to move out the king, and when he does that, white can grab the rook on a8. Here's another example. In this position, black king on g8 and the black queen on e8 can be attacked by the pawn on f6 moving to f7, creating a double attack to the king and the queen. Okay. Somehow black has to take the pawn, otherwise he will just lose the queen. If we take it with the queen, then white can play knight h6 check, creating a fork with the knight to the king and the queen is lost. And if the pawn is taken with the king, then again knight d6 check, creating a fork to the king and the queen is lost again. Here in this position, white plays g5 check, and the black king has no other squares other than h5, and when he reaches h5, white can play bishop e2, forking the king and the rook, and the rook is lost. In this example, white plays f5 check. The king has no other squares, so he has to take on f5, and with that white can play knight d4 check, forking the queen and the king. The queen is lost. Okay, in this example, white plays rook d7 check, forking the rook on c7 and the king on g7. In this position, black has no other choice. He has to take on d7, otherwise white will capture the rook on c7. Black takes rook d7, and now white takes back with the rook, and there's a fork. The king and the bishop are under attack simultaneously, and when the king moves away, white grabs the bishop on b7. Okay, in this position, white plays rook f6 check. Here, black king has no other choice other than going to g7 or h7, and when he reaches g7 or h7, white plays rook b6, forking the bishop on b2 and the bishop on b7, and when black retrieves one of them, white simply captures the other bishop. Okay, here's the seventh and final example. In this position, white plays queen c4 check. Black is forced to move into b6 or b8. If king b8, white can play knight d7, forking the queen on f6 and the king on b8, and the queen is lost. And if black played king b6, then again white can play knight d7, forking the queen on f6 and the king on b6. Again, white wins the queen. Alright, we have discussed 7 examples so far. Now, let's see some games which involves forks and double attacks. d4, white plays d4, black plays knight f6, white plays knight f3, and black plays c5. White plays bishop f4, and here black takes c takes d4. White takes the pawn with the knight. Okay, in this position, black can win a piece by force. Can you see the answer? You can pause the video and try for yourself. Have you found the answer? Okay. Black plays e5, forking the knight on d4 and the bishop on f4. White has no other choice other than to take the pawn with the bishop. And now again, black creates another fork with the queen to the king on e1 and to the bishop on e5, and the bishop is lost. There you go. Let's look at another game. White plays e4, black plays e5, white plays d4. Black takes the pawn. White takes back the pawn with the queen, and black plays knight c6, developing the knight, attacking the queen. White retreats the queen to e3. Black continues his development with knight f6. White plays bishop c4, and now black plays knight e5, attacking the bishop. White retreats the bishop, and now here in this position, black plays bishop b4 check, deflecting the pawn on c2, defending d3. Nice move. c3. White has fallen right into the trap created by black. Black plays bishop c5, and now you can see that queen cannot take on c5 because of knight d3 check. Therefore, white plays queen g3, and now again black bishop takes f2, creating a fork to the king and the queen. And if king takes, then the pawn on e4 is taken by the knight on f6, knight takes e4, creating a fork, and the queen is lost. And if queen takes f2, then black can simply play knight d3, and it's again a fork. The queen is lost. And that's the end of the lesson, forks and double attacks. There are some exercises for you to do in the section down below, and there is also a printable version of this lesson. Next, we are going to talk about pins. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you and see you next time.